Hey everyone, it's Taylor, and today I wanted to make a video kind of like Jesse the Reader's video about the DNF zone, the did not finish zone. There's a bunch of books in my room that are just kind of going unread, and I decided that I would kind of make a video about why I stopped reading them or why I didn't ever finish reading them. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about is Every Crooked Path by Stephen James. I love this guy's books. I love them so much. They're so interesting. They're about a guy named Patrick Bowers, and he's an FBI agent, and he solves serial killer cases, and they're so good. But the reason that I didn't finish this one, the content of it was just so intense, and it freaked me out. I had nightmares, and I love this guy's books, and it made me so sad to not finish it, but I just can't finish it. It's about the abduction of children and finding them and getting them away from people that want to hurt them, and this book was just really painful because it was so very truthful, and it was really good, but I just remember being like, I can't read this. It just made me feel gross inside, and for some people it might be like, oh, okay, I can read this, but it was just not the book for me. The second book is With Malice by Eileen Cook. Yes, Eileen Cook. I bought this book on a whim because I was like, ooh, it looks really interesting, and it's about a girl who goes to Europe on a trip, and then she wakes up and doesn't have any memory of what happened, and her best friend is dead. And it kind of deals with what happens, the aftermath of that. You see a little bits of flashbacks, I think. I was just like, I don't like the main character. I really, really didn't like the main character, didn't like the writing style, and it just made me kind of sad because it looked so good. It looked like it'd be a really good book, and it just wasn't that exciting, wasn't that great, wasn't that enjoyable, and yeah. The last book is The Last Star by Rick Yancey. It's the third book in the Fifth Wave trilogy. I really like the first and second book, but this one came out so long after the second book that I had no frickin' idea what the heck was going on, and I would have had to reread the books to understand what was going on, and I just got annoyed and angry because there was no explanation of this happened in the last book, and I was just like, why why? And it made me so sad because this book series is so good. It's so enjoyable, and I loved the Fifth Wave and the Infinite Sea, but then The Last Star just fell flat. And it might be good if I reread the books and knew what the heck was going on, but I just didn't, and I don't really have the time to reread those books, and I don't really want to reread them. So this book will probably just go unread for a long time. So the next book on this list is Outlawed by Ted Dekker, and I stopped reading this book because it was just one of those times whenever you get other books that are coming out and you're like, I really want to read that one, and I had 43 pages left in this book. 43! And I just haven't read it in so long that I'd have to start over, and you know that you haven't read it in a while when there's dust on the top. It's problematic. Ted Dekker is one of my favorite authors, and it kind of just hurts me that I didn't ever finish this. And there's a few of his books that I hadn't read since they've come out, and I don't know why I haven't. I just kind of haven't. And this book, I think it was good. I only had 43 pages left, so I must have been enjoying it. The next book on this list is Ink and Bone by Rachel Caine. It takes place in a world where the Library of Alexandria never burned, and it's pretty good. But this book was really, really interesting. I didn't get very far into it. I think it just ended up not being my style of enjoyment. It was really, really interesting that you couldn't burn fire anywhere around books because they were worried about the library burning. It's like they knew that the library might burn or something. The next one on this list is Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. I've never finished a single book of his. I didn't really enjoy The Uglies, and I think that was the first book in that series. I didn't really enjoy that one. I stopped reading it. This one I stopped reading just because it creeped me the heck out at one part. I was just disturbed. The last book on this list is The Wicked Will Rise by Danielle Page. I really, really liked Dorothy Must Die. It was a really, really good, interesting story. Wasn't a big fan of the foul language in it. It was kind of taking a story that I loved, The Wizard of Oz, and kind of making it not what it was, taking the magic out of it for me. Kind of like how I felt with Wicked, it kind of took the magic out of it, taking a classic fairy tale story and making it something that it doesn't really have any business being. At least that's my opinion. This book, I made it halfway through, and I remember just kind of being like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy this book, and so I just stopped. Alright everyone, that's kind of the end of everything. There's so many more books that I haven't finished that would just make this video like 10,000 years long. I have a lot of books that I just stopped reading because I didn't enjoy them. I got distracted. I had ADHD with books because the new shinier book came along. And see you all next time with a new video whenever I get around to that. So yeah, have a good week.